I'd like to take back what I said last week about modern culture's saturation with dystopias, stunting our ability to imagine a better and brighter future. The reason I'm going back on this is because I left out something, and what I left out is works that are known as Hopepunk. Hopepunk is a literary term for works that take a hopeful view of human nature. They're opposed diametrically to works that are called grimdark. So if you're thinking grimdark, think of like Cormac McCarthy's The Road or the Game of Thrones series, which views brutality and cruelty and violence as being just these fundamental, inescapable parts of human nature. Hopepunk views cooperation and peace and compassion and care as being just as much, if not more, fundamental to human nature, and all of that other stuff is actually being more of an aberration. The ultimate work of Hopepunk is Lord of the Rings. So you've probably noticed that Lord of the Rings can be super bleak at times. The reason that it still counts as Hopepunk is that it views all of the terrible stuff that's happening with Sauron and his armies and everything as being an aberration, and it views the good life as being stuff like dancing, singing, drinking ale, and stealing Farmer Maggot's crop. The reason that I think these types of dystopias are actually super productive is because while utopias give us a vision of what a better future could look like, Hopepunk dystopias actually give us a sense of how to get through really dark and difficult times with resilience and kindness and care. Hope, as it's imagined by Rebecca Solnit in her book Hope in the Dark, and also by the Czech dissident Václav Havel, is not optimism that things are just going to turn out okay. It is a commitment inside yourself that you are going to work towards what is good and right, even if you don't have any chance of winning, and you're doing it because it is good and right, not because you can win. The best book to read if you really want to get a sense of this kind of Hopepunk ethos is probably Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. It's still a super dark book. It's set in a really bleak dystopian future, which actually looks remarkably like our present. It's about a United States that's being ripped apart by climate change and the decay of infrastructure, and also there's a right-wing president who ran on the slogan, "Make America Great Again." She wrote this like 20 years ago, so it's a little alarming. But in that book, the main character comes up with their own religion called Earthseed, which says God is change, and then talks about ways that people can sort of shape change and kind of be able to roll with these difficulties and build up internal resilience and deal with the fact that the world is chaotic and hard to predict. The activist, writer, and organizer Adrienne Marie Brown based her entire ethos around this. It's called Emergent Strategy. That's its own nonfiction book, which you should definitely check out if you're interested in these kinds of ideas. But plenty of people have used these kind of Hopepunk works as ways to have an internal roadmap for how they can get through hard times, as opposed to the utopias giving us a roadmap for how we would build a better society in the future.